Hi everyone. Hi.
Hey.
Um hey, hi. That was smooth. Welcome to another episode of Is That an ITAOB, a D&D podcast. I'm DM Joe.
And I'm Cristina. And at this point, if you have been listening and you don't realize that this is a hot mess, like what you doing?
it's it's held together by high hopes and a lot of duct tape.
A little bit of spit just to see it.
No natural 20s are rolled. It's a bunch of 2s, 3s, and 5s. No 4s, just 2s, 3s, and 5s.
Hoping that modifiers will fix it.
The modifiers make us pass to like that's the noise. So yeah. So welcome back everyone. I wanted to start off by saying one of my favorite drag queens, Trixie Mattel, tweeted, I don't know, 2 days ago, and she's like, "Hey, podcast hosts, if you ever say, well, that's a segue, um, I'm just letting you know that you ruined the segues." And I said, okay.
She called you out. She called your ass out.
She doesn't
Trixie, we
even know me, and
stand.
she's reading me. I so you're never gonna hear that again from me. And
Let's see how long that lasts.
that's nice. No, I'm never gonna say it again, ever. But on drag queens and D&D talk, Sasha Colby went to the Dungeons and Dragons premiere.
Oh my God. Yes, Queen was. I can even speak if you can hear me right now. I am struggling. My voice is shattered, but we love Sasha Colby. We love her.
We
Yes, mama.
we stand a dedicated queen, and as you've all very much aware of, Christina
Well,
struggles, I
she is a
struggle with.
nerd.
I don't know,
Sasha,
is she?
Sasha's geeky as fuck. Yes, she is.
We stand.
Yes.
I love like Jackie Cox talking about like Star Trek. Fantastic. We love that.
Yes. Listen,
So
this is not a drag queen podcast, but it might as well be. If you are not seeing my face right now, go to the YouTube right this second. I said I was gonna do a light, no makeup situation, and I took a page from Marsha's book. It's not like I have all the bells and whistles, but Queen, she's slaying.
what you do?
She's laying. Her face is snatched.
She's snatched, beat. All of that. Yes, Mama Gaga walk. Snaps.
On that note, go to our YouTube.
Yes, on that note, go to our YouTube and see Christina's snatch makeup and me say snap while I don't know, do little claps. So yeah, I wanted to start off with that because I thought that was pretty funny. And yeah, because today
it's fantastic, and it's very relevant.
It's relevant to me personally.
Us.
Me. Yes.
You're attacked.
You've never
attacked.
said it. You've never said it.
Nah.
I've said it like at least 4 times, and we have like 8 episodes, whatever. So it's like, but that's her talent. You know, that's Trixie Mattel's main talent. She like reads you without even trying. She reads me all the way here in Panama, and she's like, "Who's up?"
Who is you?
No one. A speck of dust in her multimillionaire bubble.
You had a very eventful weekend. I mean, we both did, for completely different reasons.
Completely different.
I'm going to start with myself because I am the center of my universe, and then we can just move on with our podcast because yours is more relevant. But this weekend was WrestleMania, and you know how much I love my wrestling because it's big, meaty men slapping meat, and we like that. So yes, that is an actual wrestling quote by a wrestler. Big, meaty men slapping meat. And if
is this the right podcast?
If anybody dares tell me the wrestling is not gay, you are in denial. You're in so much denial.
In Egypt. But wait.
That's why I have no voice, because I've been screaming for 3 days straight.
Are the right people winning? I don't even know.
Everything. I mean, honestly, yes. WrestleMania is the most important event in wrestling of the year, and this was a pretty, yes, and this was a pretty This was a wonderful mania, to be completely honest. I am wearing Dexter
Fantastic.
Loomis's shirt. He was
I
not wrestling, but he had a very important part in it. Okay, you know what? This is not a podcast for it. But point
mhm.
is, wrestling rules. That was my
Dexter Loomis,
weekend.
is he like a horror something? Because that's like Dexter the Killer and Loomis the Killer. Is that what it
So,
is?
so I fell in love with him as a wrestler and as a person, but as a wrestler, because Baby has the most ominous intro music. And sometimes he just comes from like under the ring and he like takes people and he ends up like dragging them under the ring. And if Dexter drags you under the ring, the match is over. Like consider them dead. Like so yeah, I mean, I guess he's a little ominous. I guess that he's a little dubious, but he's never been a heel. He's never been a bad guy. Oh no. She is frozen.
Frozen. Frozen solid. Okay, so he's not a bad guy. He's bad guy adjacent. I'm gonna go with that.
No, he is not.
Um,
You know what? It's okay.
it's okay.
I promise you, it's like
It's not
he's a
right.
good guy. He's a good guy.
Okay. Okay. I'll accept that. My weekend,
Yes, please
though,
do share.
I yesterday I went with some of my D&D buddies and we watched Honor Amongst Thieves, and that was fantastic. I want to talk all about it, but we're gonna wait for Christina to be able to see it
Oh, we don't really know
herself.
when Cristina will be able to see herself. So by all means, please continue. I will make my way downtown whenever I can.
Making my way. Well, I without any spoilers because I don't want to ruin it for you. It was the big thing that this movie did in
Mhm.
difference to the first two, besides being good, it really captured the spirit of D&D with like how the characters interacted with each other and like the conversations and how it was still silly, because yes, D&D gets to be a little bit on the darker side and this and that. However, it there's still a lot of fun and joy to be have with your friends and playing. So it really, the spirit, like all of my players and I, when we walked out, we were like, the spirit of the game was caught. Like it was
Good.
so good in that aspect.
Okay. All
And
right.
there's this one guy who joins the party like momentarily, and he full is the stronger level NPC that like comes and guides them and then leaves and has the players like stay around and
Right.
keep going at their
Yeah.
thing. And as soon as we walked out, I was like, "Did you all catch the NPC?" And they were like, "Yes, it's blah blah." I was like, "Correct, correct." Um,
I
and it
appreciate
was,
that.
yeah, and it was like the monsters, that what the monsters needed to do, and the magic, the special effects, the acting was great. Michelle Rodriguez is, she's just a joy to watch in anything that she's in, but in this movie
Facts.
is like specifically like love, 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 love. Um, I mean Chris Pine as well. Renee, I think is his name, from Bridgertown. Renee
Oh, reggae. Oh,
Reggae,
reggae.
Reggae. He is great. I mean, honestly, they all, Justice Smith, all of them were great. Is
Just
Justice
want to
Smith
let
related
our
to
audience
Willow?
know that I'm having the hardest time restarting our video. And I am
Correct.
so mad.
It is
This never happens while we're recording, or very,
the
very rarely.
very seldom. Yeah, it's duct tape and high hopes, guys. Duct tape and
It's
high
the
hopes.
technical difficulties day. I promise I'm a singer. I've been just screaming over wrestling for the past 3 nights. So bear with me and my sultry voice.
It's, well, it's sultry and it sounds fantastic. So yeah, guys, check out Honor Among Thieves if you haven't. I can guarantee you that you will enjoy the show. It was real fun to watch. All of my players liked it. Yeah, I even have a player who like,
Yay.
he never goes to the movies, and he came and he walked out. He was like, "This was fun," and he's been recommending it on Twitter to people because it was,
Awesome.
yeah, it was good. It was a good time. It's a good time. So
Nice.
yeah, hopefully Christina can watch it soon enough, and then we can spoiler, because I do want to talk a little bit about the monsters that we see and this and that and la la la, because it was great.
I was hoping to to have already watched it by the time we were recording this episode. That was my hope. Like genuinely, that's what I thought was going to happen.
But
We did
WrestleMania
make,
and life.
yeah, I mean, yes. Oh no, immediately. Oh yay. Thank you. You're the MVP. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and you caught that, that's my husband. Anyways, moving. Um
Delicious.
Gregolicious. Um, there we go. That's better. Technical difficulties is the name of the game, baby.
Yes.
Here we are.
You
We're
got
back.
it.
And
You got it.
no, we made plans because there was a
Oh.
like a preview. No, not again. And I look cross-eyed. My God. Why is this happening?
You look reptilian now more than
Oh
cross-eyed.
my God. I hate it. I hate it here.
It's the name of the game, man. It's what happens. Oh, you're back.
Yay. Let me not
Yay.
move. Let me not move
Just,
and just treat it like a delicate baby.
yes, don't touch it, don't move it, don't look at it.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's very annoying. But yeah, so we originally had plans to go see it last week. Not even this past week, but the week before. There was a pre-show event. They were like, we could have gone. We could have gone, but that honestly meant having to wake up, having to have only 3 hours of sleep the
Oh,
next
God.
day. So
Nobody
that
wants
was,
that.
you know, we chose to not. We chose to
Yeah,
not.
no. I would choose to not as well.
But I'm very excited. Reggae is a very compelling actor.
Yes.
I prefer Chris Pine as a comedic actor than as a
Mhm.
straight actor because he is so pretty, but at the same time he's at that point in his career where he is still a very pretty man, but he's not a young man to be
Daddy.
like, I mean, he is a daddy. He absolutely is daddy. He is. But keep it in your
He's a
pants.
D&D
But
daddy. D daddy.
definitely, definitely. But you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
he's starting. He needs to start transitioning into the funnier puta madre, the funnier character. I hate it
mm-hmm.
here. I hate it here.
You're back.
I
Bye.
didn't even touch it. I didn't touch it. I'm closer now.
Yes.
I'm so mad. Why is this happening? Okay. You know what? Don't touch anything.
Just stay still.
Okay.
Don't move. Tell me about Daddy Chris Pine.
I just feel like he needs to do more comedy. That's it. That's it.
That's
That's
the
the end of
point.
my statement. That's the end of my statement. I think that he needs to do more comedy.
I think
I'm done.
he does a great job being. I think he's like the emotional anchor of the movie, I guess, and
Okay.
does a good job. Does a good job at it.
All
So
right.
it was a fun time. I hope everybody can go out and watch it. I hope you can go out and watch it sometime for us to spoiler talk about it here and have people embrace the movie. Now, I want to ask you one
Yes.
question.
Yes.
If you could give a new dungeon master tips, what would you tip him? That's not correct. But yeah,
$1.
a dollar. Tip your dungeon masters.
I mean, he's a new dungeon master. I would tip them $1. I'm kidding.
Not that. Not this.
Um, honestly,
Honestly.
there is this rule, not rule, but there is this acting technique that really helps just reach emotional depths that you as a character don't realize that you are not reaching because you're so stressed. And that is release your sphincter. So I would
love
tell
this.
I would tell a new dungeon master, baby cakes. At any given point in the game, at any given point in the session, make sure that you check in on yourself and make sure that you're releasing your sphincter, because you're probably holding all of your tension right there.
This is great. That's great advice, especially if someone needs to relax. And that is a big part of it. Like I read a lot about new DMs and how they're very nervous and they don't know what to do and this and that. And I think that is actually if that sounds like perfectly sound advice. And I think it's important.
Thank you.
For one of the biggest tips to give a new DM, which is like, don't forget to have fun, which goes with releasing the Sphinx. This is a thing now.
Release your sphincter. That is sound acting advice. Okay.
It is sound acting advice, and it's sound DMing advice, which is release, relax, have fun.
At this point, you should know that it is a gamble to ask me things.
I'm scared, but I think that is the correct way of the best advice that you can give someone. I think does land on that. There are other things that I do want to go a little bit into because I think giving DMs, if you're starting out and you have a group of friends and you don't know, like, oh, I don't know who can do it, do I want to do it, and this, just keep in mind, one of the big things that you hear a lot is, I don't know all the rules, there's too many rules, there's too many books, there's this. Man, I don't know all the rules, and I've been playing for my entire life. Like, that is, if you don't know a rule, play with a laptop next to you and Google something. If you don't know, the answer will come up in your top searches and you're set. And if you don't even want to Google it, you're still the DM, and number one rule of any DM is you make the rules. So just be consistent with your rulings and let it go. Be like Elsa, you know?
Exactly. Absolutely. 1000%. Another thing I would say,
Mm-hmm.
again, this is another very sound acting advice. Besides the sphincter, just fake it till you make it, baby. Fake it till you make it. Like, the players do not know the story that you're trying to tell.
Correct.
The players do not know what's supposed to be happening.
Correct.
Like, do not gaslight your players, but I mean, if the story requires it, if the story
requires you to gaslight your players, gaslight your players. If the story requires it, I guess.
But there better be a payoff. There better be a reward for the players. Yes. There has to be a payoff. Don't just gaslight your players for the sake of gaslighting your players.
I mean, don't gaslight people in general, but if you're as a storyteller using mechanisms to, like, using psychological methods, like, to make them question what's happening, as long as you're doing in-game and smart and it's pre-established that you will, just,
it's a fine line, but try. But yeah, fake it till you make it, baby. They don't know what's supposed to happen, and if you don't know either, well, guess what? You're the one who decides. So
yep. And like, one of the big things is of that in particular, fake it till you make it, and the story isn't written in stone. Here's another tip, very important. So, like, if you sat down and you wrote A, B, C, D, and your players are like, no, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine. Adapt. They won't know you're adapting. They'll be like, ooh, we figured out the big plot twist beforehand. We're so smart. And you just say, like, yeah, you did. You're great. You're great.
I will say, though,
and that wasn't your twist. And then they'll feel even better about it. And you're like, yeah, you put 2 and 2 together, man. You got it. And never tell them.
Yeah, like,
and never tell them.
I will say this, as a person, like, in my very personal experience, I like structure. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I like structure. And if I veer off of my structure, it can be hard for me to get back into what needs to happen. But you have to find a way of making the best out of a situation. I understand that for some people, some people might want to tell a story, but acting might not be their forte, or not so much acting, but improv. Those are two different things. Like, yeah, you are an actor that improvises, sure, but the fact the quality of improv that is necessary on a table as a DM is considerable. So there needs to be a level of flexibility, an amount of flexibility that I understand can be very difficult for a lot of people. So if a DM is just starting, it is important to have kind of like allow yourself to have kind of like a preset kind of structure of how you need the story to go and what you need to happen, but allow shit to happen, man. Allow shit to happen. If it doesn't work out the way that you envisioned it, it's fine.
But in that same line, if you're a full-on new DM starting off with a module, it's like, do it. It's a pre-made adventure. I saw your face. It's fantastic. If it's a pre-made adventure, it takes a lot of the pressure out, and you can really get your feet wet, and it gives you the structure that Christina's talking about. It is actually a very smart way to start and I think we've mentioned it before. Start with a module. It takes a lot of pressure off any new DM. And I think it's also important that in that same vein of start with a module, if you don't, because you have in your head, you have the best world and you really want to share it, I think you do have it. But start with a small story. You don't need to have this like Game of Thrones political narrative in the background while you're questing for the 7 stars of your pantheon, which fell from the heaven. The goblins are bad.
The goblins are bad. And you know what? There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a cozy DM.
Correct.
There's nothing wrong. Like, if you want to have an entire campaign of the refurbishing of a tavern that is the heart and soul of a town, and you are figuring out a way of like bringing a community, a party together, why the fuck not? Right?
There's people who play D&D just to battle, and there's people who play just to like ride unicorns and have fairy weddings, and they're both great.
They're both valid. Like,
yes,
why the fuck not? Just like I will say the same applies to gamers. Like, just because I choose to spend more of my time playing Dreamlike Valley or Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon,
that doesn't make you a real gamer, Cristina.
Shut the fuck up. Steve. Shut the fuck up. You know what? I play my games to de-stress. I play my games to have a good fucking time, and to, you know what? And to see the pretty things. I like to see the pretty things. What's the problem with seeing the pretty things? I am currently playing this cute little fucking cozy game called Witchwood. It is
I've heard
amazing.
Of it. It's like Stardew Valley, right? No.
It is like Stardew Valley, but you made a pact with a devil at the very beginning. You're a witch and you need to find things. I love it. I love it, but it's so cute. It's so fucking cute. It's still valid.
It is. It's perfectly. It's great. Like I mean, my interest in games goes from playing Dragon Age and Nightmare to playing. I don't know. I'm gonna go with like 200 hours of Stardew Valley, or like I think I have like 350 hours in The Sims 4. And they're all valid. I am currently going to start replaying Three Houses Fire Emblem on like the you died difficulty because I hate myself, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Doesn't make it any less valid or more valid, or everybody can just do what they want.
Exactly. Like, I am actively playing Witchwood, but I also spend a lot of my time playing some Fall Guys because that is great. And Greg and I are going to start playing Diablo. Like, you know, be versatile. It's fine.
Be versatile. Do it. So just it really does apply to D&D, and not gatekeeping is important. So for also new DMs, what you also have to keep in mind is don't overplan. And this goes in line with what Cristina was saying earlier, that everything can change. So like when you're building that city, the main city where all the adventures are going to be regularly, you don't need to have it all set up when you reach the city immediately. Just create a couple of things, a couple of encounters, a couple little NPCs. And if you need to expand more, I'm going to give you the most important tip for any DM. Random generators are your best friend. Players do not need to know. And again, it's not a secret. Me, when I'm DMing, I have always a random generator for names, because they'll be like, I have a player, shout out to Eduardo. Hi, what's up, man? I hate you. Love you. Who, whenever he talks to anyone, he's like, and what's his name?
What's your name?
And I'm like, what does it matter? Like, it's now a joke, because he like the stable hand who hands him the horses, he'll be like, what's your name? For no reason. This person is never gonna be like, what's your name? And I'm like, so I just click on the thingy.
Does he even write them down? Eduardo,
no.
Do you even write them down? Then what was the reason? What was the reason?
Make me squirm. So use your generators to fill out whatever gaps you have. And there's like dungeon generators, there's shop generators. Waldo's
no
generator is very good. Yeah.
What? Waldo's
generator. He's new to generating stuff, but his generators are actually like good.
All right, not bad. Okay. Well, so here's the thing. Generators of any caliber, they're a tool. Use the tools. The tools are there for a reason. There is no shame in using a tool. Like, they have been created by people who have been doing this for a really long time, because it is a necessity, because it is an aid. So like, live your best life, baby.
In that line, like, use the tools, and also use session 0 as a tool. Like, make sure everybody's being safe, make sure everybody's having fun. What are their limits, lines, veils? We've talked about them before. We can talk about them again if needed. But just make sure that everybody's limits are being met, everybody's safety is being considered, and use the tools. That you don't have to sit down and create a system for lines and veils. Lines and veils is the system, so use that. Sorry, that's also very important. But another of the last ones that I really want to mention is, or the last two quickly, is give the players what they want as much as you can within your limits. Obviously, it's not like a free-for-all, but if you make the players happy with items, or like if they want items, if they want loot, if they want a bigger story, pay attention, listen. We always talk about listening as one of the biggest things in role-playing. Read your table. Always. Table.
Yes.
And that way you can see what they want, and as long as you keep giving them what they want, your players are going to be happy ear to ear. And it's one of the most useful tools that I have in my belt, because I'm very good at reading people in general. So
you are that.
And yeah, I got high charisma for that. I got high insight. And then the last one, which is super important, because a lot of people got into D&D because of Critical Role, and they think that they have to be professional voice actors. And I know that that's rich coming from like Cristina, who's a professional actor, or me, who's been doing it forever. You don't have to be a professional anything. You don't need to do one accent. You don't need to do anything. Play your game. What Critical Role does, they do it in a professional way, and you don't ever need to compare yourself to them. You're doing great on your own, baby, and keep doing it.
That you do you, baby. Literally that. Like, come on now. Just would you be mad at yourself for not cooking? Like, if you've never cooked in your life and you've decided to start taking up on cooking, are you mad at yourself because you cannot cook like Gordon Ramsay? Like, come on now.
You shouldn't. Everybody starts somewhere. So you start, and if you want to eventually add voices, do it. And if you don't do it.
It's totally fine.
Correct.
Totally fine.
So those are our little D&D tips that we wanted to give to new DMs for this episode. But before we go, Cristina, I've sent you an image of a slithering serpent-like green scaled creature with a very kind and stern looking face. As you approach it through the darkest tunnels, you just hear it approach and say, hello.
Why does it look so kind?
Because it has a kind face. He's kind and green. What is it?
Well, it has a face like Grandma Willow from Pocahontas, but
Okay.
but it looks like a basilisk. It looks like a big ass cobra, the cobra looking grandma.
That's exactly what it's called. Good job. Cobra grandma.
I did it. I did it.
Yeah. This is actually a naga. That is
Naga.
what they're called, naga. And what I really like about them is that when people see them from afar, they're like, snake, bad, evil, attack it, and then they come up with their like. So the ways I've always used them with their like, it's you can't see their face through the darkness, and then they'll peep out and they'll be
Can
like,
see.
oh,
Like John Cena.
and it's
Wrestling.
and oh wow. So
Tamina.
nagas tend to guard ancient magical sites, ancient magical items, and they're very lawful good protectors of
Oh,
ancient magic.
all right.
And
Okay.
yeah. Also, they're kind of immortal. They don't eat, drink, or need any sleep. And the very fun part about them is that they can be the most benevolent dictators or brutal tyrants, because once they're in any area, they are like, this is mine and I own all of it. I am the boss here.
Okay. So it's
Yeah,
like I am kind, but
don't fuck with me.
but this is mine. Okay.
Correct.
Oh.
That's the best way to be. The best way to be is be kind, but don't fuck with me.
Don't fafo. Do not fafo. People who fafo.
All right, well, everybody, this was another episode of Is That an Owl Bear? You can find me, DM Joe, on Twitter at Joe Harrell. You can find our socials. Instagram is at Owlbear Pod. On
Yes.
Twitter is at Owlbear Pod 1.
Correct. And you can find me on Instagram and Twitch as Crispa Contreras, and on TikTok and Twitter, even though I'm not really on Twitter, but still, oh, my dog, as Crispa120. Oh no. I am so sorry for all the technical difficulties. Today has been rough on my end.
Hot glue and aspirations and tears.
We hope for the best, and my dog will not shut up.
All right. Well, she's the best. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you next Wednesday for a new episode. Bye.